Crafty Babes, Andrea back again, another Ask Andrea. If you have never seen any of these episodes before, I've got several more that we just talk about crafty things and non-crafty things. You guys ask questions and I answer them for you. So we're gonna get going on some questions that I have already asked all of my Instagram friends, and we are going to continue on answering some questions. The first one is from Miss Sue's Fish. Hey girl. She wants to know about my style and how retro fashion came to be, how I spot clothes that fit my style, and whether putting together cute outfits comes naturally. I have always been into fashion since my mother was dressing me. So I started out, my mom would make all my clothes, and you know, I was born in '79, so the '70s were in. I was wearing bell bottoms and rainbows, and life was good. And as I progressed into dressing myself, I always kind of pushed the boundaries a little bit with my fashion. So one year it was picture day, and my mom worked, and so my brothers took me to school. And she had laid out an outfit for me for picture day. And I was in second grade, so mind you, I'm like 8 years old. And she laid something out for me. She always wanted me to wear dresses, but I was pretty much a tomboy. And so I didn't really like dresses. But I had this jumper that she made me, and it was a dinosaur print. And it was my favorite thing ever. And I love to wear it with a bandana, which has not changed. And so I actually put on what I wanted to wear, and when she got the pictures back, she decided she just wasn't going to get mad, because she's like, that you've always been like that, and I've always kind of just done my own thing, but still in the box of not looking like I don't fit in, but not wanting to be like everybody else. Hard balance, especially in high school. But so speaking of high school, then I had a class where we were taught different parts of different eras about American history, along with reading the books in English. So it was like a history English class combined called American Studies. And one of the eras that we really focused on was the 20s. And that was eye-opening for me. I was like, they were flappers, they had short hair, they shook and shimmied, and they did things they weren't supposed to, and they danced, and that was kind of where retro fashion and that culture started for me. And then one of the other things we learned about was the 50s and the sock hops and the big poodle skirts and stuff, and I was drawn to eras before my time. I was just so intrigued by the fashion and how they dressed and how they talked, and I loved it. So I love period pieces. I love books that are placed in different times. I typically don't read books that are of this time period, and it kind of grew from there. And then I started seeing YouTube videos of girls doing pinup hair and winged eyeliner, and I just felt like I was looking at myself, and so I started practicing doing vintage hair and victory rolls, and my hair was really long at the time, so it worked out really well. Then I cut my hair and tried to still do some vintagey things with it, but it's just the eras before my time have always attracted me, and that's just kind of where it started. And putting together outfits has always been very natural for me. It changes, and sometimes I get kind of crazy. Like I've worn colored tights before you were supposed to. I don't know, just different things. I get trendy, and then I get in my own comfort with certain clothes. But yeah, so that's kind of how that started. We have another question from We33, and she asks how to get the courage to use the craft materials we love instead of keeping them for the eternity. Okay, listen, I'm gonna be real with you right now, honey. Why did you buy them? Why did you buy them if you're not going to use them? The purpose of buying all of these fun embellishments is to make with them, right? Make something with them. That's what makes them last. Keeping them tucked away behind in a pile, closed off where you can't see them, that has no value. So I am anti-hoarding. If you love it, you need to use it. It doesn't, just because you use it once doesn't mean that you A, can't buy it again, or that you B, love it any less. Using it is what gives it value. Putting it with photos and telling a story and having it be there for a lifetime is what gives it value. So use your products. No more of this keeping stuff because you love it. Crap. No. Use your stuff. DigiGirl61. Hi, Kim. She asks, does your mom scrapbook as well? And also, have you started a scrapbook for your dog? Oh, that's funny. Okay, so my mom used to scrapbook, and we actually started scrapbooking together. I learned how to scrapbook, as we all know what scrapbooking is, in '98, and very soon after that, I said, Mom, you have to try this, because we are crafty people, and we've always done crafty projects together. We would make purses, or we'd sew quilts, or just from the beginning of time. That's just kind of, that's our love language together, and that's how we bond. And so, you know, she's like, how do I start? I've got 50 years of photos. And we just decided for her to start at the most recent and try to work her way back. And she and I scrapbooked until she had a stroke. So a couple of years ago, she had a stroke that, you know, basically just knocked her out. And she just went from 60 to 0 in a matter of, you know, hours. So it became not a priority. And even a little bit before that, she was like, I just don't have any pictures. You know, she takes pictures of her and my dad with, you know, their quad rides and their friends and stuff. But she never felt when it got a little further into life that those were important stories to tell. And I would, you know, try to encourage her to do that. But she just wants to be out. She wants to be adventuring and doing all that kind of stuff. So after she recovered from her stroke, she just not a priority for her anymore. She, like I said, would much rather be out riding quads or playing pickleball or being with their friends. So it is not something that we do together anymore, but we still do projects. They came to visit last Christmas, and we recovered my big chair, and that was a big project for us. And so we do still like to do whatever we can within, you know, her limits of her fine motor skills are so much better now. So she was like, also, and she wanted to do the sewing. So that made my heart really happy to see her get back into craftiness. So that was a good one to get through. I have not started a scrapbook for my dog, but I do pages about her. Miss Charlie Mae does not have her own scrapbook. She actually could probably have her own traveler's notebook, but I don't really scrapbook that way. But she definitely deserves pages because, I don't know, she's kind of cute. And I love her. And I just bought a fun digital kit. Oh, I forget who did it. Oh, Becca Bonneville at Sweet Shop Designs. She did a dog themed scrapbooking kit, so I picked it up, and it's got some really cute stuff that I'm going to use for some pages for Charlie. And if you want to see more about Charlie, you can check out the hashtag Charlie Mae the Furry Gray, because my dog has a hashtag. All right. Okay, so next question is JM Rock Hill asks, how did you find a stamp that fit Retro Hip Mama perfectly? Seriously, every time I see your opening, I'm amazed. Was it just happenstance or did you adjust it? So I used this Pebbles stamp. It is an alpha stamp, and it has, talk about happenstance. When my husband and I were filming and thinking of the creative direction we wanted to go, I told him one of the things on my shot list was a stamp. I wanted to show off stamping. It's just something that I do. I'm so sorry. I need to log back in here because my computer keeps shutting off. And I don't want to forget these questions. So he asked me, okay, well, what do you want to stamp? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'll just pick a stamp and I'll just stamp it. He says, well, do you have anything that could spell out your name? And I was like, well, I could put some of my alpha stamps on. And I was like, well, I've got this alpha stamp. And I counted the letters and it had the perfect number of letters to get me through the whole name. So it's actually still on here because I haven't used it since. But that was how we got so much magic, was just this little stamp. And what's cool about this stamp is every single, what do you call these? Roll, every single band has all the letters, it's all caps, all the letters of the alphabet, all the numbers, and a dash, a period, an exclamation point, a question mark, and a hashtag. So super versatile. I have found this on Amazon. A friend of mine had it when we went to a Scrappy function, and I was like, that needs to go on my cart ASAP. And I love it. Because you can even, it has some spaces too, so you could do different words. You could do 2 words or something. So it doesn't always have to be just one word. So pretty cool, by Pebbles. Planned Spontaneity asks a couple of questions. 1, are you going on the Reset Girl cruise? Yes. I'm so excited. So, hell yeah, I'm going. Oh my gosh, I could not miss that. You can't keep me off that boat. So, yes, I am going, and I'm so excited. And speaking of crafty adventures, if you were going away for the weekend to be crafty, what's the first 5 things you would pack? So, I'm not sure if we're talking about, well, I guess she's saying just the first 5 things. Okay, so let me think about, this is a off-the-cuff response. I did not write out this, so I'm going to say the first thing I would pack would be my pens, like my tools, my essential tools. So my pens, adhesives, my eraser, scissors, those kinds of tools. A date stamp and a stamp pad would be probably the next thing, because they're small and compact and they work on everything. Then I would decide what projects I was going to work on. So I don't scrapbook away from my things very often anymore, and so I'm not really set up for travel, so I would have to plan what I was going to work on, and I would probably bring only my personal album stuff. So I'd probably bring a traveler's notebook and a 6x8 album, and I would probably also bring my Bible for Bible journaling, and then I would pre-make kits. I mean, I'm getting a little in the weeds here, but I would pre-make kits. I would pick certain photos that I was going to work on, and I would pre-pick the cards, and I would pull washi, and I would wrap washi around bobbins so that I didn't have to bring the whole roll. And I would create my own kits for the projects that I was going to work on, the pages that I would work on. And then I think after that, I would probably then pack my tools. So I would probably leave my mega date stamp at home because it's really cumbersome, and I would use my LE Studio date stamp instead because it's flat and acrylic. And then I would probably bring my favorite alpha stamps and my favorite overall stamp that has some of my favorite sentiments. And then I guess that would be it, because in the kits that I'm essentially making for myself, I'm going to include things like embellishments and cards and paper. So that is more about how I pack than the first 5 things, but I guess that includes all that. So those are all the questions that I have stored up so far. I am really excited to see what kinds of additional questions I get from you guys, and if you have other questions about things that we talked about, or you want me to dig in a little more, you want me to go a little further into some more of these questions, please let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I love thumbs ups, like in real life and on YouTube. which is cool. And if you don't want to miss any more, go ahead and subscribe. And I'm putting out process videos and Bible journaling process videos and flip throughs and all kinds of stuff. So if you don't want to miss that stuff, feel free to subscribe, and we will talk soon. Talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.